What's going on, guys? Graham Giuseppe Matthews here with WhatCulture.com. We got a very exclusive interview today with Ryan Nemeth of Heel Movie. You've probably also seen him in AEW Dark, AEW Programming. Ryan, you're all over the place, dude. What's going on, man? Thanks for taking the time.
I'm everywhere. Thanks for having me. This has been a lot of unexpected cool things happening in the past few months, and it's all timed up for like the premiere of my movie. So it's all very nice. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, man. And as we speak right now, we're speaking on Tuesday. The Florida Film Festival premiere is this weekend, right? On Friday?
Yeah, but there's a screening Friday and Sunday at the Sundial Theater in Clearwater. It's called the Sunscreen Film Festival. It's the first time Heel will be shown in person on a big screen in Florida. I'm going. This will be the first time I'll be able to see it on a big screen.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, Florida's been like the home base, it seems like, for everything right now. Between that, you got the film premiere this upcoming weekend. You've been with AEW, and that's all out of Florida, obviously. So, but you're not based in Florida. You're traveling from California.
Yeah, I'm coming in from LA. Florida does have everything. You're right. They have the ocean, they have WWE, AEW, coronavirus.
A nice mix of everything, I guess.
They have it all. Yeah, so it's kind of unexpected, this whole thing with AEW happening, but really, really welcomed from my end. I enjoy it. I'm happy to be doing it. And
yeah, absolutely.
We'll have some AEW people and WWE people coming to the screenings this weekend, so I'm excited about that.
That's awesome. And a slew of people involved in this project, too. I mean, it's like a who's who that's been involved with the movie. Obviously, your brother Dolph, but Chavo Guerrero was involved with the movie. Yep. Just everyone. Brody King was another one involved in the trailer, too. There's a bunch of other people.
Yeah.
How cool is it to be putting this movie together? And I think the timing for a movie like this, we'll kind of get into it, but for a movie like this is just so perfect. With everything that happened last year, it gives me Dark Side of the Ring vibes. I think the timing for a movie like this is just so perfect.
Yeah, timing is like the key word. It's so interesting. It was a few years ago that I wrote this script, and it was not, I don't know the right way to bring this up. Mm-hmm. It's just because with all the people excited about this movie, there's also a lot of people who are like pretty pissed off and hate me about this movie.
Why is that?
Dude, I like my instinct is to say I have no idea, but the real answer is that people just don't want to be challenged when they think something is true, and I think a lot of people don't want these things to be real. The movie is about sadly sexual assault in indie wrestling, right? Mm-hmm. So none of us want that to be true. I don't want that to be a thing that exists, but I know that it does because I'm a realistic human and I have eyes and ears. Mm-hmm. And I think it's a lot of the fans will just kind of fall in love with certain wrestlers, and if anything negative is ever mentioned or brought to light about them, they just go like, nope, not true, can't be true. And then when someone like me comes along and says, I'm going to make a project that hopefully opens the door on this, shines a light on some bad shit, and starts a conversation, I'm the bad guy suddenly to those people. So it's a minority of people, but they're very vocal and they're not happy with me. But the timing is I started writing this a couple years ago, crowdfunded it before crowdfunded, shot and went through like post-production all before the speaking out thing happened last summer. And I think the timing of that maybe messed with some people, and so these people were very angry at me. Were saying, oh, you're taking advantage of the speaking out movement and trying to turn a profit on it and make yourself famous.
Yeah,
I would love if there was a profit from a short film. I have almost bankrupt myself making this thing, and we've raised the money. Like, there is no short films don't make profits. That's not a thing that happens,
Yeah.
Hopefully they get into festivals, and that, by the way, also costs money. So like that part of it, I think, is really adorable. But there's no money coming from this, by the way. And also, we made this whole thing before that speaking out thing happened. So maybe this contributed a little bit to helping people speak up, or maybe that was inevitable. Maybe being home during the coronavirus time just made people who have been stewing about that issue feel like, all right, I got nothing else going on, time to tell the truth about this. I'm not saying one way or the other on that, but the timing all kind of combined together. And I think it's going to make wrestling better overall, the whole movement, and hopefully this movie can help. I don't know. Yeah, the timing was great. I'm kind of just rambling right now, but it's all
ramble away, my man.
Yeah.
No, yeah, it's funny when you have a movie like this and people think that you're capitalizing off of what happened. First of all, I would ask like who
Yeah.
would do that, but I mean, I guess there are people out there who would do that.
Yeah,
But
of
like,
course.
with a project like this though, do they think the movie was made like over the summer and it's just I mean, do people know how filmmaking works? Like
So
it's
we
funny.
started writing this a few years, or I started writing a few years ago.
Yeah.
I approached Maggie about the script. I just wanted her opinion on it because I knew she was moving on to feature films and just, starting an actual large, huge career in movie making. I said, will you just read this script and let me know what you think? And I'm talking about Maggie Levin, the director, and
Mhm.
she said, let's meet, back when you could still meet at places. This is like a couple years ago when we met.
Yeah.
And she said, I want this to be my final short film I direct. If you'll allow it, I want to like helm this and direct this, and I want to make this. And her experience with wrestling is very limited. She'd only come to see we were doing charity shows out here in LA called Nuclear Heat. She came to a few of those and just thought live wrestling is fucking awesome on TV. I never got into it, but when you're in,
Yeah,
like a
it's
lot of
such a
people
different
out here,
experience. Yeah.
yeah, you're up close, you're hearing it, you're seeing the reaction of this. And when she kind of realized the issue I was addressing in the script, she just felt like really connected to it and thought this kind of is something I want to do. So I said, how much money do we need? How can we make this happen? So I embarked on a very, very daring, risky crowdfund campaign, and I cannot believe we did it. We
Yeah.
somehow did it. I still can't believe you raised that money in 30 days. So yeah, and that was all like years ago. And then we filmed it and it had to be delayed and delayed and delayed because she was getting booked on like feature film jobs and
Hmm.
all this stuff. So finally we got that to shoot. We shot it, and then it was another 6 months before we went through post-production. And then it was finally in a place where I was like, cool, I'm gonna start submitting this to festivals. And then Speaking Out happened a week later. And
It's
so if
crazy.
anyone has the nerve to say, hey, you made this because of Speaking Out, look at a calendar. Shut up. It's just it's so dense of a thing to say.
Yeah. No, it totally is.
Not only is it offensive and I can't believe you're accusing me of this, but also chronologically it literally doesn't make sense.
Exactly. And like you said, hopefully it's a movie like this that brings awareness to stuff like this, which is a super important topic. I mean, it was always going to be relevant and important anyway, but especially
Yeah,
coming off a time like last year when all that speaking
definitely.
of stuff happened, and it's just, disgusting to see. So a movie like this will hopefully bring more awareness to it. And even just watching the trailer, which released a full-length trailer this past week, it gives
Yeah,
me wrestler vibes too, like the wrestler with Mickey Rourke. Was that ever an inspiration while making the
of
movie at all?
course. Yeah, yeah. I love The Wrestler so much. That's one of my favorite movies lifelong. Yeah, I think The Wrestler did a great job of being maybe like the first mainstream piece of film or art to say, this is what it's really like for most of wrestling. You see The
Yeah.
Rock and John Cena and Stone Cold and Hogan up here, but like most of wrestling is like this. It's like the iceberg beneath the ocean, beneath the surface of the ocean. And I thought like that was one story, and this is the one that has just been like burning in my brain for months and months and months. And what can I do about this? I can't speak up on behalf of these women. I know how that goes.
Mhm.
Also, for all the people on Twitter who accuse me of being a villain who's whatever, you can't speak up on behalf of victims. You can't.
Sure.
You open yourself up to litigation. You open yourself to ruining their lives. Like it's all on their terms. So the one thing I could do is to make a piece of art that deals with the topic, and just hope that it sparks something in people and inspires them to like be aware of this, and that's all you can do. Me as someone who is not a victim of this stuff, you can be an advocate in different ways. This was the one way that I could think to do it. So
Yeah.
you know
Yeah. No, it's awesome.
I'm saying this because just today someone sent me an awful tweet that said, someone said, wow, this movie looks great. And the response was something like, yeah, but what did that asshole do? He didn't raise any money or help victims at all. That guy is a phony. I'm like, I don't like what possibly you want me to do, dude?
Yeah.
Like I'm doing what I can, and this is the best way I could think to do it, man.
You got to be the absolute savior of wrestling, apparently. Like you got to go out there and save cats from trees and stuff like that. But I completely understand what you're talking
I
about, though.
mean, I have a platform, I have a voice, and I was able to make this project, and that I think is I'm not saying I'm saving the world, but like
Yeah.
I'm doing fucking something, Sorry, dude. And I think it's a cool
Yeah.
movie. I think Maggie took what we had and made an amazing film, and we had amazing actors. As you said, Chavo is stunt coordinator. We had an Emmy-winning wardrobe guy, Rodney Munoz. Just so many amazing people involved in this, and a lot of people, a fair amount of people that worked on this project donated their time.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a union project, so some people are working for like not amazing actor rates, but they cared about what this project was and
Yeah.
wanted to be a part of it. And so I'm just so grateful for everyone who helped and everyone who worked on it, man. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's super important too that they're super passionate about it. I think that's going to come through when people see the movie. And
Mhm.
you mentioned the Florida Film Festival coming up this weekend. Do you
Yeah.
have an idea for when it will become available for everyone, whether it be on a streaming service or buy it through somewhere or something
I
like
get
that?
that question a lot, and I also have the same question, but I'm as in the dark as you are. Well, okay, so I can't pursue distribution and streaming until we've exhausted all festival possibilities
That makes sense.
because
Yeah.
one, you can't do both at the same time. Festivals won't put your film in the festival if it's already publicly available, and it's hard to get publicly available unless you have the festival accolades.
Yeah.
So the process is we're trying to hit as many festivals as we can, and luckily it's like winning some awards. We won best director in one, and it's up for a lot, it's nominated for a lot. So we just want to exhaust that as much as we can. And it's a little strange because coming off of the COVID thing, we wanted this to be in festivals a year ago,
Hmm.
but it was all just delayed because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
So the timing is very strange, and I'm just kind of going along for the ride. And I do want it ultimately to be streaming somewhere. So for all the people asking, yes, I want that to happen. Where will that be and when will that be? I don't know, but I think it will be.
Yeah. And we're making the steps towards that. I mean, obviously you got to
Yeah.
conquer the film festivals first and then get to that. So that makes a lot of sense. But you
Mhm.
mentioned how you wanted this a year ago. We're getting it now. How crazy has the last couple of months been for you between this? Again, you've been all over AEW. You're on pretty much every episode of Dark. I watched Dark Elevation. You faced Ryzen last night. You're like on all the episodes, dude. You're on Dynamite sometimes. You are literally all over the place. So how have the last couple of months been for you?
Pretty nuts, man. Nuts in a good way. The busiest
Yeah.
I've ever been, the happiest I've ever been in wrestling, really.
Awesome.
And so we were talking about people that backed the movie. One of my great friends, Brody Lee, was a huge backer of this film, and so this week, Amanda, his wife, will be
Mhm.
going to see it with me and at the Sunscreen Festival, and I had planned to simply visit AEW on account of Brody Jr.'s birthday. I knew that was coming up, and Luchasaurus and Trent were kind of telling me like, "Hey, you should come in for this. We're doing a little surprise birthday for him."
Mhm.
And I hadn't seen him in a couple of years. I've seen him and her a few times when they would come out to LA and all that, and so I planned to come in for his birthday. And as you probably know, in wrestling, you always have to bring your gear no matter what. I the most wrestling I've done this year has been like stunt coordinating or wrestling on shows like AP Buy or music videos, like just kind of doing a lot of TV and film wrestling, but not like live wrestling. I mean, it didn't exist. It was shut down. It was a
Yeah,
pandemic.
exactly. Yeah.
So I've been active in the ring, just not in live matches. And I brought my gear and I was there, and Brody Jr. didn't even remember. Like I used to babysit him in Florida and stuff, but I haven't seen him in like 5 years. So he was just like, "Who's this guy?" So that was
He's
kind of
like 8
fun.
now, right? So I mean, there's like that period where like everything pre 4 years old, you don't remember at all. So
No chance. Yeah, I mean, he's still the same madman he used to be when he was that age, but just longer hair. And here's a Tony Hawk haircut now. I don't know
oh,
if you
does
ever.
he? I always see him with a -1 mask on, so I can never
That's
tell.
right. Yeah. So we were there for that, and while I was there, basically they said, "Hey, do you have gear? You want to be in a match?" And I said, "Yeah, sure." I mean, I think Amanda was like, "I'm so happy. This is great, perfect." So I didn't want it to seem like I'm just like showing up, going, "Hey, can I have a job here?" Like, not
Yeah,
at all.
yeah.
I was literally just there to see her and him
Hmm.
and reconnect with the buddies. And then somehow I'm debuting on Dynamite against Adam Page, which was absolutely insane, dude. Crazy. And yeah, that was pretty wild, pretty insane. And then I thought, well, that was kind of fun. And then they I flew back home and they sent a camera crew to LA to shoot me at Venice Beach talking about. I was like, well, am I on this show now? What is happening? And I
Am
was,
I a
so I spent
regular on the show? Yeah.
yeah. And then I came, they brought me back for the next trip and I had some more matches and then the next trip. And I just kept thinking, does this company think I work here? Like, I don't, what is happening? So we're still in the midst of that. And that's, I mean, going well. And as you said, I'm on a lot of the things so far, and I never want to like count on that being the case. But so far, I'm
Yeah.
constantly on their program. But
Well,
it's
pretty
been
much
great,
regular
man.
on the
It's a
show.
great. What do you say?
No, I was just gonna say, just pretty much a regular on the show at this point. Yeah.
I am enjoying it, and I will enjoy it as long as it lasts. I'm not banking on anything or counting on it, but it's been a great reunion with a lot of my friends from FCW and NXT, and made a lot of new friends and connections. And I said it before, but it's true. I'm having the most fun in wrestling I've ever had anywhere. And I think it's a really great company with some really great people there.
That's awesome, man. And
Yeah.
I absolutely love when you promote the matches on Twitter and stuff like that and whatever. Like I said earlier, you were facing Ryzen on last night's episode of Dark Elevation as we speak right now. But Dolph, your brother Nick, obviously, will include snapshots or screenshots or whatever of your faces from the matches. So it's like his way of promoting the other company without actually like, you know what I mean? Like I think that's absolutely excellent. I just
I
love
think it's
that.
pretty fun, very fun. And they like it too. And the fans love those dumb, if you get hit hard in the face, sometimes your face looks dumb. I'm sorry. All right. But yeah, I've become a meme. I'm a meme.
I love it. Well, last question for you, man, as we wind down here. You've done a lot of things lately, wrestler, making this movie, stuff like that. My
Mhm.
brother is actually an aspiring filmmaker. He's going to school for that type of thing. So I would love to
Hell
ask
yeah.
you, what goes into making, but not what goes into it, but like, what is your best piece of advice for someone like that wanting to make a movie like this, apply to film festivals? Because it takes a lot of effort, dedication, obviously,
Yeah.
finding something you're passionate about. What advice would you bestow upon those type of people?
I think there's a few things that I have so far picked up in my, blossoming filmmaking career.
Hmm.
There's some good things that you can make a piece of film for no money because we have fancy iPhones and stuff. And
Yeah.
another good point is to make some friends who can do things because when you're first starting out, everyone wants to make things. So someone will have a camera, someone will know how to edit. You'll have friends who are actors, someone will want to write. You just gotta be likable, be hardworking, and work well with others, and you can make a film with no money. Now, if you want to make a film with money, great. You just have to, damn, dude, that 30 days we raised the money. So I found a few people who had ran successful crowdfunding campaigns
Hmm.
and just drilled them about like how did you succeed? What were some things, and a great resource on that is Emily Best of Seed and Spark. I looked up she does free online classes, like went through all the tutorials of her just explaining, here's how to raise $1 million. Here's how to raise $50,000, like whatever
Yeah.
amount, there's ways to do it. And luckily I just have a great network of people from my whole life and career so far, and a nice little fan base. The wrestling fan base helped. My brother and friends like sharing the campaign around
Hmm.
helped. Basically, I had to be the most annoying person in the world for 30 days straight.
That's what you got to do.
You have to. And then after that 30 days, great. Now you can make a movie. And
Yeah.
Maggie, our director, had a great way of saying it. She was like, everyone has one. You can do one crowd fund. So this is yours. And I thought, great, this is mine. And if she does one someday, that'll be hers. So you can't do like a lot of them. Otherwise, people just hate you and will like stop talking to you probably.
Like, why do you want more money from me? I already donated. Yeah, I know
Yeah,
what you mean.
yeah. So you know, basically make good friends, be a good friend. Uh because otherwise the first part I talked about, making things for free with your friends, won't happen because people don't like you. So
Yeah,
if
exactly.
your brother, is that who you're talking about, right?
Yes. Yeah, my brother named Jackson. Yeah.
If he's a likable guy and he works hard, even if people will take a likable, hardworking person over someone who's really, really, really good at something who just sucks as a person. So
Yeah.
be a nice person in general, and everything will be great. You can do it, man.
What a
That's
concept. Be a nice person, you know?
and people. Okay, so there's like a lot of people say, how come Ryan Nemeth is on Dynamite instead of all these other people on the Indies who I love? And like, often the answer to that kind of question about these things is we like being around this person.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's the case with me, but I know the case with other people I know. Like that's why he's on a roster somewhere, because people like him and
Yeah.
he's decent. Like, would you rather have the amazing prodigy wrestler on your company who just makes everybody miserable? Probably not. Maybe, but like, you know,
Yeah.
be cool. How about just be cool?
Yeah, exactly. I think we need to see more of this Ryan Nemeth. We don't see it. We see all the Hollywood hunk on Dark and Elevation. I guess that would make you more of a baby face, but I guess that's,
Well, I'm just being myself. There are different shades to me, and that's the one
yeah.
you get on that program.
It is what it is. But no, man, this has been awesome. And people can check out the movie Heel at some point down the road, obviously. But
Yeah, and before then, just keep an eye on my social media because it's gonna be popping up at festivals, and some will be. A lot of the festivals are online, so you
mhm.
might buy an online $10 ticket, and now you can watch 20 movies for free all weekend, and Heel will be one of them. So
I didn't even know that existed. Is that a new thing? I've never heard of that before.
it's new due to the pandemic. Of like
Oh,
the
wow.
Cleveland International Film Festival this year went online. A lot. The first few that Heel was in this year were all streaming, and I would post about them, but people were just like, "What is this? We don't understand." So I'm just telling you now. A lot of film festivals you can watch at home on your phone or your iPad or whatever. So everyone who wants to know where it's streaming, it will be streaming in more online festivals. Just keep an eye out. I'll always post about it. I'm not trying to prevent people from seeing my movie. I want as many people as possible to see this thing. You know?
Yeah. No, absolutely, as is the case. And yeah, hopefully people can check that out soon, wherever it might be. And you're having the premiere this upcoming weekend in Clearwater. I was just in Tampa and I went to Clearwater at Hogan's Restaurant for Mania weekend. So
Nice.
it's a nice area. But yeah, people can check
Cool.
that out, man. And you're on the Twitter machine too at what's your handle?
Handle is Hot Young Briley. That's my old name from the past.
Did you keep it just because you're still verified, or was there a reason why you still kept it?
I like it. I think it's a nice little reminder of the past.
Yeah,
and it's not one of those names that someone assigned to me. Like I chose that name. I kind of liked it, so I don't know. It
nice.
might change. We'll see.
We'll see. Maybe it's going to turn to Heel Ryan at some point, or just stay at Hot Young Brian. Either way, but people can find you in the Twitter machine, the movie as well. But yeah, Ryan, this has been awesome, man. Thanks so much for taking the time. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, brother.
Absolutely.